just doing some watering today, so I'm gonna take you around and water things and fill up any bottles and globes that are empty. Tomorrow I'm gonna be getting back to work out front. Yeah. Still gotta figure out some things. Maybe get some bender board and figure out how I want to do this sidewalk. Maybe make some molds or something. Okay. In the meantime, just watering today. Okay. this a little bit. Because it is very wound up. Just like a woman. And I say that because, you know, my mom is probably one of the most high-strung, tightly wound people that I have ever known in my entire life. She's also extremely picky. And she always has been. So some of you guys might notice I cut off all of the branches off of my rosemary. I noticed that it had spider mites, and that's what the webs and stuff were all over it that I had noticed probably a couple weeks ago, but I didn't realize it was spider mites. That is a lesson to me. I should have taken a closer look, you know, but I didn't. I thought it was just spider webs. Who knew, you know? I'll put you know what? I think I will. I'm gonna put a second bottle over here instead of over there. Just because this side is getting a lot less water than that side now. So I'm gonna switch that up a little bit. And if anyone is thinking to themselves, wow, she looks different than usual, this is what I really look like, no makeup, because I didn't work yesterday. Dumped it out while I was putting it in there. Oh wow. Okay, so you might be wondering why I wanted to give this side more water. Because I've got some yellow leaves right here, so clearly that means it's not getting enough water. And I've noticed that this side on the west side isn't getting as much blooms as the one over on the east side of the driveway. Plus, this one does have just a little bit more plant going on because I've got this rose geranium in here that I'm trying to just get bigger so that I have options to, I don't know, make more or something. I'm not sure. I'm still deciding on that. If I want to propagate it from that little cutting that I took, or if I want to just go take more cuttings from the place that I initially found it from. I mean, that rose geranium that they have there is huge, and I was able to get that into a functioning plant with roots that's doing really well, just from a tiny little cutting. So in theory I could go get a couple more and everything would be fine. I don't know, if everybody did that, plants would just disappear from the public areas that they're at, so that's probably not a good idea to propagate to the masses because, well, plants are supposed to be for everyone when they're on public property, you know? Not for everyone to just take so they can have in their own yards. So maybe I shouldn't do that. Today's supposed to be a really warm day. Huh. Well, check this out, everybody. Look at this. My princess lilies, they seem to be, at least on this side where I didn't break the plant up at all, they're really establishing nicely. They're going to have some new blooms in really soon. Over on this side, they're still looking really scraggly, but I did break those up, so I guess, I mean, this one right here that I'm got my watering hose on, the nozzle, it's doing really well, and I've got another little shoot coming up like right there, but I mean, you know, I guess it didn't completely die from me breaking it up, but it probably would have done better if I hadn't. I guess I just needed to treat it a lot more delicately than what I apparently did, which is disappointing, you know, because I just, yeah, I thought that it was going to be a lot more sturdy than what it actually ended up being. You know? But, oh well. You know, oh well. In theory, it should spread out and fill this up. I don't know. I wonder if maybe I should just go ahead and take down a row of the paver stone, retaining wall stone, whatever that kind of brick is called. Maybe I should. I don't know. I sort of like where it is because I can sit down on it, and taking down a layer of it will make it like shorter than bench height, in my opinion, and I'm pretty short. I guess we'll see. We'll see how I want to do that when I because I might have to take all of these and redo this thing anyways, because I'm going to be putting in a concrete path. So on the one hand, I probably should have waited to do anything final with this before I had that done. But, I mean, everything is so chaotic and haphazard in this yard that I just basically, you know, it's just a whatever kind of situation. And I probably should plan a little bit more, but it's difficult to plan for sure when I you know, some of my plans for going forward is going to rest on the trumpet vine being dead, you know, which I have not started killing it yet. I do have my implements and need to get started with, you know, putting out the little floral vials and poison so that I can start that, and hopefully it'll work and not take a huge amount of time. We'll see. You know, on the other hand, I'm not totally comfortable with doing it while the hummingbirds are still relying on it for food. You know, I feel sort of like I gotta wait for, you know, the salvia to be just really doing really well, and, you know, all of the other plants like the bougainvillea. The hummingbirds do really like the bougainvillea, so I don't know. I feel sort of like I have to wait, but then at the same time, I do need to get the area cleared away, you know, of the trumpet vine so that I can plant my red hummingbird tree. I'm sure that you guys saw me putting it in the pot. We'll go over and I'll show you how it's doing in just a moment after I finish filling up the bubbles here. And I'll show you how the red hummingbird tree is doing. So, something that I did is I went ahead and I put some fairy lights around the mailbox, you know, like what I have around both of my planters up front. I've got fairy lights wrapped around those, just, you know, because they're cute or whatever. Sorry, I gotta get the hose taken care of so that it's not a trip hazard. Okay, before we go and I show you the red hummingbird tree, look at this. This is the lavender. It was just, I cut everything off of it yesterday because it was having a really hard time. I don't know what was going on there, why it started having such a hard time, but it really was having a really hard time. And I don't know, maybe it did not like being in the shade, but it wasn't recovering when I put it in the sun. So a great way, if your plants are having a really hard time, to force them to recover is to cut off all the dead stuff. Like with the bougainvillea, it had lots of dead stuff, so I cut it all off. And now, well, you know, it's got a weed friend, but it's got some spots down here at the bottom where it's blooming, and I'm really hoping that, you know, it's got a few more spots that it's going to start blooming soon, and it's at a level where we will be able to appreciate the blooms and see all of the little animal friends that come to appreciate the blooms and pollen and nectar. And here are my cucumbers. There we go. There's my cucumbers. Maybe you guys can see I used some of that Velcro garden tape to get these guys to trellis themselves. Hopefully I'll be able to take the tape off soon. I don't know, it does not seem to be holding itself up quite yet, you know. Hopefully soon it will be holding itself onto the trellis. I do, on the parts that aren't attached yet, I do come over and check to see if it can reach very well. That one's not quite ready. Gotta let it grow some more. And let's check this one. No, this one's not ready yet either. Okay.